Well, damn, man, this thing's starting to be a real pain in the butt. The valve stems that I ordered are the wrong size. Again, these ones were too big, too fat, because I guess technically I don't have dual springs. A liner, I don't know what they call it, but it's a liner inside the spring. And so, so technically I guess it's not a dual spring, but this is still too fat to fit in there. So these are the original ones that I got. And then these here are the right diameter for the stem. It's too small to fit over the valve guide. This is a 0.500, and I guess I'm in need of a 0.530 instead. So right now I'm at a halt. I went on Amazon. Well, I did some research first, went on Amazon, ordered the same exact ones, however, just with the bigger diameter for the guide, so it'll fit on the guide. Because right now what it's doing is it's sliding on the stem, and then it won't go over the guide at the bottom. So, and I double checked, which is what I should have did. This is my fault. I double checked from the previous one here, and as far as the size goes with my little caliper here, and then went from there. So I gotta wait another day. So I went to Amazon. They've had them on there, free 1-day shipping, and I'm good to go. So stay tuned. All right, y'all, man, round 5011, 19,368 on this car, man. Oh my gosh. It has to be like day 5 or 6, or I don't know, man. So these are the new ones that I ordered. Comp cams, part number, I think it's 518, yep, -16. They're 11/32 valve stem diameter, which is where this blue seal rides along the valve stem. And then the bottom here is supposedly 0.530. Hopefully that's the size, and I'm pretty sure it is, of the bottom of the valve guide on the heads there. So hopefully I got this right this time, man. I've been kind of just postponing because I've had to order these. Thank God for Amazon, because I ordered these the day before yesterday afternoon, and they came here yesterday late morning. All right, y'all, I made some progress here. My light, I had to charge the battery, died, but they're all in there. I don't know, you guys can't see them anyway because the springs are on and the rocker arms are on now and everything, but they're in there. All I gotta do is torque that down now, and then we're good to go. So those fit so much better, man, so much better, and I'm happy with that. So those are in there, and it was a little bit of a challenge, or I thought it would be, to tap these down. But what I did, because a lot of valve seals have that outer ring that sits a little bit fatter than that little oil seal, or than that little rubber seal, excuse me. And so usually you can put a socket over it, and then the socket would just kind of ride on the little metal piece, and you can tap it down, versus kind of really hitting on that rubber part. And I wasn't comfortable on pounding that rubber piece, so what I did is took a washer. It fit perfectly on the valve seal. The tape is to protect the valve stem from the washer, just in case it were to scratch it or something. But man, those went on really, really good, really smooth. Just a little bit of a challenge to get them all the way down, because there's not a whole lot of room over there. But it worked out pretty good. I'm probably gonna do that side another day, just because I want to kind of attack this radiator. And so what I did so far is I got this piece here, this piece right here, from a company called RJC Racing. They're actually in a city called Tooele, Utah. So what this allows you to do is to adapt a bigger oil filter on, as I discussed earlier. And all it is just like a screw-on little all-thread piece that has an inner thread as well, and you just screw it over the top of the existing thread there that you would normally stick the filter on. So this allows you to do that. So what I probably will do, because I'm thinking once you screw this on, it'll probably back out once you take it off. Maybe not, but I'm thinking like when you screw it off to change the oil, this piece might get stuck in the inside of the filter and then come off, and you maybe one day you not know it and throw it away on accident. And this piece was like 30 bucks. So what I might do is just put a little bit of Loctite on, probably some blue Loctite, so that way if I ever need to take it off for any reason, I can. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So, but it'll make it or allow me to run a bigger oil filter. This is the adapter that came off, and again, this is stock how they come, and this piece just screws off, and then the adapter basically just fell off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fit this radiator in, and I'm so happy that I will just totally eliminate the oil cooler line. So. And the radiator's also been going bad in it for a while. It has a leak. I'm assuming it's the original radiator. It looks like it is. So I got a replacement radiator. A common upgrade on these is a Fbody radiator. I don't know if technically it is an upgrade or not, but a lot of people use the Fbody radiators on these turbo Regal cars. So we went ahead and got the Fbody radiator here. I'm not sure if this is the part number or not. I think that might be OMG, y'all. OMG. I never want to take a stock radiator out of a turbo Buick ever again. Man, that was, let me just put it this way. It took me 3 hours to just get the oil lines off the radiator and off of the oil adapter, the oil filter adapter. Man, the reason why I had to take those off is because 1, they go into the radiator. 2, the fitting that's on the hardline fitting was seized up. It would not come off. It was rusted on and it wouldn't spin. I tried everything. I tried heat. I tried PV blast. I didn't leave it overnight, but I left it for a little while. Wouldn't come off. So I was able to get one off intact, but the other one, it would not budge, man. And it had like a weird bend, and when I was trying to untighten it, that bend was hitting the exhaust manifold. It was a pain in the butt, man. 3 hours just to get those 2 lines off, man. Finally, we got it out. So, stock radiator. This is a Fbody radiator from an 89 IROC, basically, Camaro. And they actually are pretty damn close. Same in height, length, and width. If anything, maybe just less than 1/4 of an inch as far as you know, length, height, and width. I mean, they're pretty dead on. And this is a pretty common swap for turbo Buicks using the Fbody radiator. The reason why a lot of people go to this is because they have a lifetime warranty through O'Reilly. So a lot of people will just get those instead of buying from like a turbo Buick, when usually they're more expensive. Because these, I think this came out to like just under 100 bucks, you know, so not too bad. 1 row, 1 core radiator, that's all I really need. But yeah, y'all, I mean, this is where I'm at now. Well, I've been out here for a while, several hours here. Really just taking my time putting this thing back together, making sure everything is good to go. So I got the valve cover on the driver's side on, everything on, all the wiring, accessories, everything that needed to be on, everything is on that side except for the breather. I just got to put that on. I'm kind of waiting to do that. And I got the radiator in, it fit perfectly. Fbody radiator, perfect height, width, everything. It dropped right in. And I have the transmission lines routed up. I just, luckily I didn't have to change any of the fitting, so that I was worried about that, but I was able to make those work. I took a fitting off the other one and used it for the bottom on that one, and that fit right in, fits perfect. And I was able to keep this car actually came with a aftermarket transmission cooler, so I was able to route the cooler in through the cooler portion of the radiator, and I think that's gonna work better. Supposedly it cools better if you run it through the radiator and through a filter. I've never done it that way before. This car came equipped with it, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. So I have the out going in to here, and then the bottom being the return that's going out to the cooler, the top nozzle of the actual external cooler. And then the bottom nozzle on that one or line comes out to here, and it goes back to the return line of the transmission. So basically in the bottom, out to the external cooler, and then into that one, out to the transmission line, return line that goes back to the transmission. So that's good to go. Before I went in, I wanted to go ahead and try to attack to get this passenger side valve cover off the quickest I've ever done it. So I'm happy about that. And then now I have access to the springs. So hopefully these won't be a pain in the butt. I heard back here they can be, and so we'll attack that when we get there. But I'm just gonna leave it as is now. That way when I come back tomorrow, I can just attack it right away, get it done. What's cracking, y'all? It is the next day again, and I'm still not done yet. This thing has taken me a lot longer than I thought that it would, but we should be there today. On the passenger side, actually was not as bad as I thought it would be, but it is tight back there, and it did take a little bit of creativity to get, excuse me, to get the valve seals to seat as far down as I could. Anyway, so I got both sides done. Yes, got the radiator in, so that is a win. It'll fit perfect in here, y'all. Got the lines installed and everything. Now we're to the part where I got my new filter, so I'm gonna put the I'm gonna prime the filter, put the oil filter in, and then I can go ahead, tighten that down, and put in the fans, and then just really start tidying this thing back together, man, and we should be running 2 days. All right, y'all, 90 minutes later, and I have made zero progress on what I just told you that I was gonna do. Man, nothing ever goes as planned. However, when I was mocking up the bigger oil filter to run on this car, I ran into a problem with the intercooler bracket. You guys probably cannot see down there. It was hitting with the bigger oil cooler or oil filter, and this is a piece of it right here. So take you outside. So I had to modify the other part that I tried to show you in there for a second and bend it out a little bit. Here, this was sitting something like this right here, and so it might have been more like that, but I had to cut this piece off because this piece was hitting on that. And when I look at it, the intercooler, it really does not move. I actually tried to shake it, and it doesn't really shake at all. It's braced in a couple different places, especially on the other side, and also the intercooler pipes hold it in as well. So I think I'll just revisit it at another date. So I cut it right here, and then I bent that piece that's on the car right now. I bent it out a little bit further, and I bent this so it would sit against it, and that way I can just bolt it right in, because there's some bolts on the other piece of the bracket that sit right inside here, and then I can just go ahead and put the nuts on and tighten them down. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully this will work, and I can finally start to do what I was gonna do. Yes. smoke burning off from the oil that settled in when I changed the seal. So some oil, I think, dripped down on the block, and then there's some oil that probably hit on the downpipe as well. This is burning off. New radiator in. I'm just trying to let it warm up the temp. See if the fans will cut on, make sure I didn't ruin anything. So still got a little bit, 160 right now. I think the fans kick on about 180. See, they cut on 160, so maybe they cut on at 165. Okay, low speed. So in the back here, what I was getting was like blue smoke popping out, and as of right now I don't see any, so that's a good sign. That's why I changed the seals. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and shut it off. Still got some oil burning. Also too, there's some oil that settles on the crossover pipe. I think my rear main seal is leaking, and it has been for a while, and so it takes a while for that oil to burn off, but after it does, it runs fine. Anyways, yeah, it seems to be running good. The radiator is a good fit. It's in there at least. I also had these extra pieces of these are actually kind of door seals, like door jamb seals for like wind and air, and so moisture and stuff can't get in your door. You can also use them for your windows as well. I've been using those for my fans, and they've seemed to work really well. I usually had just used like regular vacuum line hose, and I would just slit it, and then I would put it around the edge here if I only had like a small area to kind of cover and tighten, so that way air couldn't get out. But I did it here, and just because the way that the stock fan is mounted, there's a big gap in between here, so I might try to figure out something to kind of help eliminate that, so that way air won't seep out of there and the fan can get the full heat out of that radiator. Everything is back to normal. The fix on the bracket on the intercooler, I don't know if you guys can see it down there. That's good. You can see it's out the way from the filter, so that's perfect. That filter is actually a lot bigger. You guys can see it down there, how big that is in comparison to this one right here. So a lot bigger, a whole lot bigger. And it sucks because I already bought that, and then I found out about the Biggie style filter adapter that you could put on here, and then put the bigger filter on it. But oh well, is what it is. With it, I am happy. I'm done with this thing, man. I've been working on it for so long, and finally done. Definitely not gonna do anything to this car again this year, especially with money being tight from me not working. I don't want to take on any other projects, especially with my Chevelle in the shop. So I've already paid my guy money up front, so he's good for now, and he's just kind of just doing it on his own time. So it's kind of nice because at least he has it, it's out the way, and I don't have to worry about it. I know it's safe at his house. But for now, we're good. I just really want to enjoy the car. I haven't really been able to drive it, especially with the new tires and rims on it. I just want to be able just to enjoy it and just take it out and be good. Caprice is good, it's up and running. So finally, I got 2 working cars that I'm happy about. So, but anyways, y'all, stay tuned for more. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up and get back in. I'm hungry and I need to eat. So you guys know what to do, y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man, share, do all of it. All that good stuff, y'all. Stick with me. We got this. I'm out.